Asked and answered. As a former couture evening wear designer, I'm going to give some more tips and tricks to look out for when shopping for a wedding dress, or really any evening dress, or when altering a wedding or evening dress, because that can be even more important than whatever dress you pick. And no, this is not my usual content, but being better educated about how to take care of your clothes is always in my wheelhouse, so let's get into it. So I went online and found some dresses that I think could have issues or be problematic that people might not know about right off the bat. Let's start out with this one, because this one's actually a really complicated alteration. As you can see, it has the scalloped edge all along. It has the placed waistband, and it has a slit up the front. So normally without the slit up the front, if this just came down to the floor, you would actually take this up by cutting the waistband and lifting the skirt up from the waist so that you don't ruin the scalloped edge. That's a pretty simple alteration, but because this dress has this slit right here, you can't do that, or the slit would be in your coochie. So what they're gonna have to do is cut all along the scalloped edge, probably after that horizontal crochet, and then they can cut the rest of the dress around the back if you need to make it shorter, and reapply that trim. So that would be a very expensive alteration. Moving on to these buttons should always be in the same fabric as the dress. I've seen them in like the lining fabric. I remember my sister tried on a lace dress that had this, and the buttons were covered in the nude lining, and it looked so terrible. And there was an option to change them to being covered in the lace. They should be covered in the lace. It looks 1,000 times better. But also, whoever is dressing the bride, make sure to bring tweezers or a crochet hook or something to pull the loop over these buttons, because otherwise you will be there all day. All of our fingers are just too big. These kinds of dresses with the embroidered sleeves, the sleeves should be left really long in the fittings, because there should be enough tulle at the end that you can just cut the correct length of the sleeve. You never, ever, ever on anything that's beaded onto tulle want to remove the beading. You will create holes. Once that beading is sewn onto the tulle, it needs to stay there. Never move it. These kinds of dresses, I've seen people that like want to remove this back piece because they want an open front and an open back. This kind of dress will never stay all night without that back piece. That back piece, it's what's holding the front in place over your tatas. If you remove that back piece, no amount of double stick tape is going to keep this from moving on you all night, especially when you're dancing, and weddings are like hours long. Shoulder pads are amazing. If you have a sleeve on your dress, I highly recommend even a small shoulder pad. It will completely change your posture. Your waist will look snatched. You'll look taller. Shoulder pads are amazing. We went too far in the 80s, but honestly, a small shoulder pad is everything. And finally, if you try on dresses like this with straps and want to do it without straps and think you can just remove the straps in the fitting, that is absolutely incorrect. If you want a strapless dress, look for a strapless dress. They are the only ones that are built with the support built in. This will not stay up without the straps. Hope this helps.